What's happening, YouTube, Facebook, Daily Motion, and everybody? Anthony on PRLostGalaxy fan film, and welcome to my review on the regular basic figures of the villains of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. For now, at least. I will get the Tronic Foot Soldier and Evox in another video, but for now, let's look at the generals that worked for Evox in the series, because these are some of the... I got a great selection of these figures, although I got Blaze and Roxy long for a while already, since like last year. This year is in the back, the new figures. Well, basically the Drilltron was from season 1, but season 2 is Robo Blaze and the Vargoyl villains. So here I am with the villains of Beast Morphers until I get Evox and that Tronic Foot Soldier. I think that's about all the villains, or unless I'm missing any, because I've noticed they only did figures of the main villains plus some foot soldiers like the Tronic and the Drilltron back there. But anyway, let's take a look at them. But before that, I need to take a look at the back, move Blaze and Roxy aside for a bit. Now, if you get the packages for the villains for both seasons, this is the package for the villains in season 1 with the regular Beast X Morpher, and then the season 2 package would have the Beast X King Morpher to display. This is for season 2 with Robo Blaze, even though now I got both of Blaze and only one of Roxy. I wish they did that other version of Roxy where she was in her purple look for season 2, because season 1 she was all green, season 2 she was purple, to emulate her Go Buster counterpart color of Escape in that color scheme. And also another difference on the package, you know, this was back when Saban's name was still imprinted onto the Power Rangers logo, but going into season 2 Beast Morphers, Saban's name is already removed off the Power Rangers logo. The Hasbro Power Rangers logo, since Hasbro officially owns Power Rangers now. But some of the figures I got from season 1 Beast Morphers still says Saban's Power Rangers Beast Morphers, but season 2 just says Power Rangers Beast Morphers. But anyway, let's open up these new figures and give a review and give my overall thoughts on these figures until I get the next batch. And thus, the Legion of Cyber Evil has been unleashed. Somewhat. So here are all the figures, even though Blaze and Roxy, I had these since last year, but the new figures of Drilltron, Robo Blaze, and Vargoyl I just recently got. Speaking of Blaze and Roxy, the regular ones from season 1, these two here, I got Blaze with, you know, with a Beast Morpher Ranger from Target last year, and I found Roxy at my Walmart around this time last year as well. But Robo Blaze, Vargoyl, and Drilltron I bought recently off of Amazon. Although Vargoyl was hard to find, but I managed to get him for 12 bucks, while the Drilltron was $7 when I bought him, and Robo Blaze was just only $9 when I bought him. Because these figures, unlike all the other, you know, basic figures we had from recent Power Ranger toy lines back when Bandai was doing Power Rangers, the basic figures, you know, for most of the majority of the Rangers, for Neo Saban's figures, they were very expensive and hard to find all the time. Luckily, I'm so glad, I'm happy that these basic figures for Beast Morphers don't cost as much on Amazon and such, because in the past, when I was collecting, in the past I've been wanting to get all of the villains almost for these newer seasons, because when it was Dino Charge, I couldn't collect all of the action figures of all of the villains like Sledge, Poisandra, Kirio, you know, Wretch, you know, and all of those other villains they had for Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge. Ninja Steel had all of their villains also, from what I heard, like Madame Odious and Galvanax in them as action figures. But I told y'all back in my past, when I used to, you know, collect Power Ranger toys and review them initially, I was not interested in collecting any of the Ninja Steel toys, especially figures of the villains, because I was just not interested. But with Beast Morphers villains, oh, I am so interested in them, because I have been watching Beast Morphers mainly online, you know, because I don't have, you know, cable or satellite to watch the show on Nickelodeon, like I've told you since Dino Supercharge. But here I am, almost 5 years since I last watched the Power Rangers on broadcast with these newer seasons on Nickelodeon. I've mainly been watching these, waiting for these new seasons to finish up, so I would binge them on Netflix or wait until the DVDs for the show come out. And here I am with these figures, and at the time I'm reviewing this, Beast Morphers is concluding this month, so their final batch of episodes is this month, and then probably another Christmas episode, and then they're done, and then everybody's prepared for Dino Fury, which is the next Power Ranger season. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the figures that I got recently from 2 years ago before I get on on with the new guys that I just recently got. The first being Blaze and Roxy. Now, Blaze, I'll start with first mainly because, you know, his figure is just like all the other basic figures that that you're going to get from Hasbro, because this is not from the Lightning collection. Now, Blaze's Lightning figure is the only villain figure from Beast Morphers line of Lightning collection figures to be out only, but they haven't did any of the other villains. But they will do the other villains soon, but this is just for the basic line of toys that are, you know, for the kids. But I'm doing this for adult collectors who want to collect everything from the season and every Ranger and villain from Beast Morphers to add up to our traditional collection of Power Ranger toys. So with Blaze, this is just his, you know, again, this is his basic figure. There isn't much I could do with his basic figure, but I bet you when I do a review on his Lightning collection figure, there'll be more articulation and more detail on him. But on the basic figure, he looks pretty skinny. But well, this is what the basic figures look like, because unlike, you know, all of the Bandai Power Ranger toys that we had, but for Hasbro's Power Ranger toys for basic line of figures, the figures don't have all of that muscle in them, which is a good thing, because this is what the characters looked like on the TV series for them to be crossed over onto the toys for the action figures, where this is how the characters are supposed to look like in action figure form, especially for the villains. Because when I had some of the villain figures for Dino Charge, they looked a bit chunky. But whereas with Hasbro's basic figures of the villains for Beast Morphers, they look just right. Well, especially for Vargoyl and Drilltron, they're meant to be thick. But whereas Blaze, Roxy, Robo Blaze, and the Tronic, they're supposed to look exactly how they looked on the show. And then when I get Evox, this is how he's supposed to be in the same width and, you know, weight as the other two villains, the big brutes here. And now for the basic figures, you can't really do much. Well, you can do all of this head articulation, just turning the heads around, but you can't, you know, do much up and down head movement on some of the majority of them. But you can on Blaze and Roxy. Blaze especially, because he does have some articulation. You can't, you know, on arms and legs, but it's just, again, limited. This is all limited range. This is not Lightning collection where you have to do all the butterfly joints of the crunch of the abdomen crunches and stuff, because again, that's only on Lightning collection basic figures. It's just how the figures look basically and how they move basically. But again, until when I get the Lightning collection Blaze figure, Cybervillain Blaze figure, I'll compare this with that figure. And this is his weapon, because Robo Blaze has the same, actually when you come to think of it, Blaze and Robo Blaze have the same type of blaster, but except one is a burgundy and black, you know, burgundy and black, and the other is gold and black. So there is another difference between the two Blazes, because it's just the same character but two different forms. And this is his saber, but whereas also I noticed another difference between the sabers for the two Blazes. His sword looks like a on guard sword. This looks like a battles, you know, a B-Sex battles sword for you know, regular Blaze, while Robo Blaze just has this sword, you know, this on-guard swordsman sword, you know. And also I noticed another thing every time I placed his you know, regular Blaze's blaster onto this blaster. Anytime I would do movements with his arms like this, you know, especially with him holding the gun, it keeps falling out of his hand for some reason. I don't know why that keeps happening. So I just try to keep the hand, you know, keep the blaster on his left hand as much as possible, him wielding both weapons. So move Blaze aside. Okay, looking at him a little bit, that was just enough to give just a brief glimpse. Now, as for Roxy, since this is the first time owning a full female villain figure for Power Rangers from Hasbro, because of course at the time I'm reviewing this, they have already did the pink and yellow Psycho Rangers, Ranger Slayer, which I already did a review on. Check out my Ranger Slayer review for the Lightning collection. And of course they got Rita Repulsa, and now coming with that Red Space Ranger is of course Andros' sister, Corone, aka Astronema, and that Astronema and Red Space Ranger 2-pack, which I will review soon when that finally does arrive, when I will pre-order soon and, you know, do a review on Astronema and Andros and that 2-pack. But as for Roxy, there's something with her figure. Now, I like Roxy's figure, and her figure is fine, but there is some cons I have with her figure. It's just every time, I think the reason why my figure of her keeps falling is the bad leg and the bad knee joint, because this is her bad knee here and her bad leg, and every time I try to stand her on surfaces, whether in other furniture, whether it be tables or something like that, or on top of the balcony of my closet where all my figures are being stored, standing and not posing, she keeps falling over, and I have to pick her up and try to keep her standing still. I like Roxy's figure, and I actually like her just as good as Blaze's figure. But also, Roxy has, you know, if you've been watching Season 2 of Beast Morphers this year, Roxy had a purple version of her self for Season 2, but it feels like they're not going to do an action figure of this because, you know, once again, this feels like this is one of those female villain toys don't sell mentality for Power Rangers, but I managed to get Roxy at Walmart when I got this last year, because I was surprised that they were going to sell her, but I felt like she was just not selling. But I actually managed to get Roxy, but for some reason, when I got her figure, it feels like she is the weakest of the bunch. But I like her character on the show so far, and her actress was doing a great job portraying her. But Roxy's figure, however, you know, what weighs it down for me with her figure is her bad knee here, because, again, when I try to stand her up, I mean, she's standing up now, but when I place her on top of my closet or something, she just keeps falling down, and I just don't like that. I also like the way how they gave her two dual gun weapons, but, you know, one gun being silver and the other being black. But unlike Blaze's weapon, I just wish that Roxy had color on her weapons, because with these kind of figures from Hasbro, I would expect them to put more detail and color in the weapons than just be just like all those old Bandai Power Ranger figures where it's just a basic color of the weapons and not fully colored, because that's what the Lightning Collection is for. And I'm still waiting for them to do Lightning Collection figures on villains like Roxy and all the other villains from Beast Morphers, because while Dino Fury is happening and soon to come out, but I'm still waiting on when they're going to do a Lightning Collection figure for Roxy, since they already did Blaze, but they should give us Roxy and Robo Blaze, and then Roxy in her other recolored form for Season 2, but it seems like they're not going to do that. Also, Roxy, however, her costume for Season 1 is just a recolor of what Escape was in Go Busters, because as a matter of fact, this was both Enter and Escape, because basically Blaze's first form, Season 1 form, was based on the Dark Buster form from Go Busters, which I've heard, while this was regularly Enter and Escape in the Sentai, from what I heard, but we'll get to Robo Blaze later. And so, therefore, I wish they should have gave us another Roxy where she was in her purple color scheme to emulate her more faithful Sentai counterpart, where I feel like green Roxy felt like she was her own character. And yeah, but again, there's not much I can do with Roxy. I like her cape. You know, her cape is just, well, standard rubber, but it's more like hard rubber for the cape. But whereas on Ranger Slayer's Lightning figure, it's hard, you know, soft rubber on her cape. Okay, let's put Roxy alone. Let's put Roxy down and leave these two alone. But now we got some of the Season 1 villains covered. Now I got covered the 3 new additions, because I'm going on 10 minutes, 11 minutes at the time of the recording process. Now on to the new villains that I got in the batch. So let's move these upward and take a good look at them on camera. Bring them over. Now, as you can see, I bought all of these all at once early this month off of Amazon, because I figured, well, since Power Rangers Dino Fury is coming out, I need to get on the ball with Beast Morphers' main line of toys, because I did said back when Season 1 happened last year, I did said that I was not going to collect a lot of Beast Morpher toys unless if it's action figures, the Morpher, and the Megazords. But since there isn't that many toys this season compared to the Neo Saban seasons, where I had where it was a huge nightmare trying to collect all of those action figures, Zords, and all that other doodad stuff, and blah blah blah. At least the Beast Morphers toy line doesn't have a lot of collectible gimmicks or Zords and stuff, all the other additional Zords and stuff to collect, which is good, because I knew I was going to have faith in what Hasbro was going to do with Power Rangers going forward with Beast Morphers for the main line and Lightning Collection, because I was not going to go through what I was going through over the last decade when it was the Neo Saban era, trying to collect all those action figures and stuff due to my personal problems with the collecting toys and also whatever I was doing during my downtime. But anyway, so let's get on with Robo Blaze first before I do the other two. Like I said, Robo Blaze is basically, you know, Enter from Go Buster, but Dark Buster was basically Blaze's evil ranger form, because, you know, I like the Dark Buster costume, but it made sense for Blaze to have two different forms. You know, him in, you know, the Season 1 form as the evil Power Ranger, and then Season 2 being this form, where he has, you know, Enter's original costume from the Sentai. And this is his gun, because, you know, his gun is just a recolor of what Blaze already had from Season 1. But although I wish they added a little bit more detail on the weapon, you know, his blaster here, blaster here, because, and also I'm having a hard time, you know, trying to put, oh wait, there I go, try to place the gun in his hand, and then also the sword. His sword, his on guard type sword, to put inside his hand. I'm trying to open the fingers up because it's been costing a lot with these Hasbro Power Ranger figures lately. As much as I like the quality of the Hasbro figures, but it's kind of difficult for some where I have to place the weapons. And okay, now I got it. Now this is how Robe Blaze looks with both his gun and his sword both in his hands and ready to fight. I also like some of the and also this is soft rubber on his lower cape piece, I think. Yeah, his waist cape piece, whatever you like to call it. There's not much paint on the back here, and but I do like the sense of gold on the figure, because it's just all, you know, that's what I like about some of the color schemes for some things in Power Rangers and Super Sentai. It's the base color, and then some additional color would be some silver, some gold on suits, or some black, which is great. And like the other basic figures, you can turn the heads around and then up and down. Man, I wish this guy screamed Lightning Collection quality, but this is just basic line for the kids. Anyway, okay, now on to Vargoyl. This guy was also from Season 2, because now I haven't seen this guy on Beast Morphers right now, because I'm still doing my Power Ranger fan film thing and other stuff, and also during the situation out in the world, but that's I digress. But okay, now Vargoyl looks interesting because he looks a lot similar to Snide from Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge. Now I bet you that you know, Vargoyl looks looks different. He reminds me of a different monster themed Power Ranger villain, and also his dreadlocks is made of rubber, so that's also there. And then also the spikes around the spikes and pieces of the armor is rubber, so you can get the sense of the rubbery textures onto the armor of his costume. So, and then articulation is the same as all the others, you know, arms, you know, turning them up and down. But but on this guy, due to the rubber shoulders on here, you can't move his arms all the way around. It's just, you can only lift his arms up and down this direction, left and right this direction. So you can't really do much with the arms. And also his arm is a little stiff on this one, while this has, you know, more free movement. And also articulation on the knees, you know, you can do that. Get his knees moving around. I mean, Vargoyl's fine, even though he kind of does remind me of, you know, Snide from Dino Supercharge a little bit. Because, in fact, he kind of does. And then also his, this is his weapon, but it looks more like a small dagger than as opposed to an actual, you know, large size sword. But, okay. And his blaster is all black, and there is a little bit of silver on the tip of the blaster, where he shoots his, weapon at the Rangers and stuff. But again, I haven't seen this guy in action. I gotta catch up on Season 2 before Dino Fury begins. And this is Vargoyl wielding both his gun and sword, just like with Robo Blaze. And now, last but not least, Drilltron. This has, you know, out of all of the villain figures for Beast Morphers, Drilltron is my favorite. I actually always liked this guy for some reason. I've always wanted an action figure of this guy for a while, because there's just something about his design that just clicks with me. Because now, as much as I didn't really care for the Sentai of Go Buster, but some of the villain designs are actually impressive and interesting. I just couldn't see it after all these years. even in the 8 years since Go Buster was even a thing in Sentai, and then with it now being a Power Ranger season, I totally overlooked some of these villain designs. Okay, Drilltron, there isn't really much because he already has all of this artillery guns and cannons and stuff on him. His right arm being a one-arm cannon that shoots all kinds of missiles. You can turn his arm around, and his movements can make great stop motion if you want to with this, and along with your Lightning Collection figures and stuff like that. And also this gun, and then his quadruple laser gun gauntlet is also impressive, because there was just something about Drilltron that made me, fall for this guy, because he is one mad, menacing, bad mofo of a Power Ranger monster. And then also, even his gun turrets here, his shoulder turrets can also move, which you can also do as well. It's just something about his design screamed like he looks like some sort of a human-sized Mobile Suit Gundam or sorts of a Power Rangers villain, a monster. So that's the villain. So there's not much I can say for Drilltron, but his costume is awesome. And also with him being in front of a blue screen, but again, I'm not doing no Chroma King. Oh, and last but not least, before I wrap up the video, I do got some Beast X, Morph X keys for the villains, but until I get the Morphers for Beast Morphers, the Beast X Morpher and the Beast X King Morpher, I will try out these keys. So these are all the keys for all the villains thus far I have. So that's it, guys. That's it for my review for the villains until I get Evox and Atronic, and then my basic figure collection for the Beast Morpher villains is done until I do the Power Rangers for Beast Morphers for the basic line. And I'll see you guys next time, and tell me what you think of this review. So anyway, thanks for watching, and the Legion of Cyber Evil has been unleashed.